My beloved child, you think you've moved on, you've buried the memory, sealed the pain, silenced the ache, but I have brought you here, not by accident, not by emotion, but by divine intention, because I see what you've tried to forget. I hear the name that still stirs your spirit, and today I am reopening that door, not to drag you back, but to finally set you free. Do not turn away. Do not scroll past, because what you're about to hear will release a weight you didn't know you were still carrying. Stay with me until the end, because in this moment, I am not just speaking to your mind, I am healing your heart. In this moment, I have chosen a modest message from within a vast sea of information, one endowed with power to open the spiritual doorway you have long desired to walk through. I see your heart, a heart known for its faithfulness, a spirit aligned in obedience, and a resolute belief that has endured through shifting seasons. I observe it all and rejoice profoundly within, for you stand among the rare few who do not grow weary in seeking me. Yet, on this particular day, I desire you to know this sign was not intended to applaud your devotion, nor to further acknowledge your commendable endurance. The message I bring pursues a different mission. It pertains to someone, a face from your memory, a name you have labored to forget, a soul that once carved a lasting imprint into your life's journey. That person is not merely a chapter of your past. They belong to the divine tapestry I arranged long before you were formed in your mother's womb. Between you both, much remains unresolved. A parting that never saw a proper farewell. A misunderstanding that never found healing, a distant sigh that has echoed through the years without anyone daring to confront it. Now, my child, I draw back the curtain of truth to unveil this. The time has arrived for me to tend to that hidden wound, not to lead you back to what once was, but because a piece of that connection has yet to be set free. That quiet bond, though subtle, exerts an influence on your path. I do not want your history to keep your feet bound. I want you restored, that you may step forward unburdened, liberated, and awakened to greater life. You have journeyed through countless seasons, consistently showing remarkable resilience, yet deep within you, nestled in a silent, shadowy place, remains the impression of a soul you have never fully released. I do not desire for that impression to become a weight pressing upon you during the new season I am unfolding. That individual, too, belongs to me. Even though they no longer walk alongside you, they have never left the reach of my vision. Within their own heart lies an unspoken cry. Perhaps they themselves cannot explain why your name revisits their thoughts at unexpected times. It is because I am shaping something in them. Just as I am shaping something within you. I am the one who knits invisible threads between people, between hearts that once shared sacred encounters, even if no one else sees it in this life. Do not be afraid. I am not telling you to restore anything by your own efforts. I am not directing you to return or to hold tightly. Instead, I invite you into a season of forgiveness and release. And if it is my will, I may unfold a miracle of reconciliation through my hand, in my timing, for my ultimate purpose. Your first step, my beloved child, is to open your heart and let me enter that chamber you once sealed. Let me guide you into that memory, not to stir up old hurts, but so my light can illuminate and heal, setting you free. I am aware of how much you have been hurt. I know you closed that chapter with tears, but you are precious to me. And I am not limited by endings penned by human hands. Farewells do not confine me. I reach beyond any boundary of time, and I tell you this. In the story that seemed to close, there remains a final chapter requiring my touch. Not necessarily a chapter of returning, but surely a chapter of healing, of understanding, and of releasing both souls from a silent bond no one dared to acknowledge. Hence, if you hear that person's name echoing in your mind in the coming days, do not immediately label yourself weak. That is my spirit tapping your own. When you notice something that draws you back to them, do not suppress that emotion. Instead, bring it to me. Ask, Lord, how should I handle this memory? and I will guide you forward. It could be simple intercession. It could be writing a letter you will never send. It might be finally uttering a word of forgiveness you have never truly released. Or perhaps a small doorway is being reopened, not for you to recapture the past, but to invite me in to do a new work. My child, I accomplish nothing in vain. If I prompt your heart about someone, it is not just an emotional swell, it is a sacred operation. When you heed my gentle stirring, I will work magnificently in your soul. Never be fearful of what I am reviving. Let me lead. For in this beckoning, you will find not sorrow, but a place of profound tranquility you have yet to explore. When that liberation takes hold, you will step into your new season with lighter steps, clearer vision, and a heart no longer carrying that unnamed weight. My treasured one, I now ask you to become still, to open your heart wide, and let your entire being rest, like a lake's surface unruffled by the wind, because I am about to speak something holy, a profound truth that only those who have wandered long enough through brokenness, forgiveness, and renewal can fully receive. Let me take you to the edges of yourself, where old wounds cease to be gaping tears and instead become fibers that strengthen a soul of resilience, where tears are no longer laced with sorrow, but flow like living streams watering fields of wisdom. Whatever you have faced, be it pain, loneliness, or the fracturing of what once felt complete, was never my punishment, nor was it proof of my withdrawal from your life. Quite the contrary, it was precisely within those moments of my seeming silence that I worked most intimately in you. I never abandoned you. I never forgot your hushed sobs in the dead of night. I was present in every choked breath that found no ears to hear, and every instance when you buried your tear-stained face in the pillow, murmuring, "Lord, why is this happening?" You were never forsaken. You were redirected. Though that redirection came with tears, though it was unwanted, though it left a void in your heart, it was my method of drawing you out of lifeless places, moving you toward growth in the image I intended for you. I let the breaking occur not to crush you, but to refine you, not to deprive you, but to gift you with something truly greater, more authentic and eternal. Reflect now and see that through those seasons of being broken, you learned deeper forgiveness. Through abandonment, you discovered unconditional love. Through the tears you thought were wasted, I was nourishing the seeds of wisdom that have begun to sprout. None of your tears have been wasted. Although they fell to the ground, I have gathered them in heaven's jar and have used them to replenish your heart exactly when you believed you could not go on. Today, after growing steadily in dark silence, on paths nobody else has grasped, let me disclose the reason a figure from your past has reemerged in your mind. It is no accident. It is not just an old memory. It is a stirring in the spiritual realm, a tremor I have permitted, sparked from the original root of a plan I set in motion long ago. That person, that soul, now thinks of you, though not necessarily with words. They likely will not send a message or return in the shape you once hoped for, but their spirit yearns for what was never spoken, never finalized. Something still binds them to your name, a lingering thread not yet snipped, like a breath still partially held. I have no need for social media to merge soul with soul. I do not need a phone to guide someone's thoughts to your name. All I require is the opening of a channel, and indeed, it has already been opened. Have you noticed that nameless ache, that subtle longing whose origin eludes you? It is the stirring of the spiritual dimension, where two souls once bound by something sacred begin, once more, to whisper to each other without words, through energies and silent yearnings. I do not want you to leap hastily to conclusions. Do not assume that my hand is restoring that person to your life so you may resurrect the past. No, my dear one, I am reviving a matter that remains unresolved, both in you and in them. Perhaps you were both scarred by misunderstandings too great for either side to voice. Yet now, because I see your matured heart, Knowing you have been molded through love and faith, I am entrusting you with a holy invitation, the chance to unknot this connection, not by means of earthly conversation, but through the spiritual pathway of forgiveness. Pray for them. Offer their name to me, not because you hope to reel them back, but so you can release them from the land of sorrow you both once inhabited. Grant forgiveness, regardless of whether an apology ever comes. Extend love without awaiting reciprocation. Bless them without weighing their worthiness. As you do so, not only do you release them, you free yourself as well. Miraculously, a dormant part of you, the part you once believed gone, will arise anew, not to restrain but to fulfill, not to restore old times, but to help you surpass them. You will not be crushed by the past any longer. Your walk becomes lighter, your depths grow richer, your freedom more expansive than ever, because you will have discerned a vital truth. Every individual who crosses your path does so for a reason. Some remain, some serve as teachers, some enter so that ultimately you will learn to forgive, even if they never reappear. My precious child, that is the very essence of wisdom, not lodged merely in the mind, but thriving in a soul that has learned how to love despite separation. And you, dear heart, have arrived at that threshold. You have grown. Therefore, do not resist my reminder. Do not shut out the gentle knocking resounding at the door of your soul. Instead, tell me, Lord, if now is the right season, I open myself to it. If this is the door I must close with peace, guide me. If this is the person I must relinquish in love without further demands, then alongside you, I will do so. I assure you, if you present this as an offering, not of material goods but of a softened, willing spirit, I shall make this very sacrifice the bedrock for something fresh I am crafting for your life. Something unscarred by prior pain, unencumbered by past burdens, belonging wholly to me and just as wholly given to you. My beloved child, listen carefully to the words I now speak. They are not derived from indefinite feelings or drifting recollections, but from the center of eternal love. I am the one who has witnessed everything, known everything, and still chooses to remain. I am not recalling this person to your mind to revive the wounds you meticulously concealed. No, my child, I do not reopen old doors to subject you to fear or mourning. I open them so that healing might flow in, so the chapter may conclude in freedom, so that everything reconnected or finally released will never again bind your heart with invisible chains. Something remains unfinished between you and that other soul, not because you were negligent or mistaken, but because certain spiritual attachments cannot be severed simply by parting words or physical separation. Certain bonds endure in the spirit, like incomplete melodies reverberating within us. Deep down, you know it well. You have assured yourself countless times that you have let go, that all is long past. Yet even so, there are evenings when your tears defy reason, mornings when you awaken to an emptiness that has no name. This does not signal failure. It is a reminder that the journey is incomplete. My dear child, healing does not merely arrive when all hurt subsides, but when you can reflect on your past without bitterness, when you stop tormenting yourself, when you feel no urge to unravel the cause behind every unresolved ending. I want you to grasp this. True healing does not rest in having every answer, but in choosing to trust that I hold even those matters that lie beyond your comprehension. If you allow me, I will take this last untied strand and weave it into a gentle, gracious conclusion. Yes, there is still a thread connecting you to that person, perhaps an unfulfilled responsibility, perhaps unspoken forgiveness, perhaps an unoffered blessing, or an unacknowledged truth. I do not force you to confront it, yet I also will not allow you to walk onward with that hidden corner in your heart. You are meant to walk in absolute freedom. You deserve to enter the unfolding season without fragments of your history left untouched. Hear me on this. Real healing does not always culminate in restoration. Not everything I surface returns to its former state. I may well ask you to let certain things go, so that you no longer drain yourself holding on to them. However, closure is never found in denial. It is realized in the light. I lead you to this place where all truths are exposed before me, not for condemnation, but for cleansing, not to shame you, but to lift the weight from your shoulders. As long as your heart clings to unnamed, unaddressed issues, a door remains partially shut. Through that half-open door, breezes from the past sneak in, chilling your spirit each time you are vulnerable. Trust me, this lesson will not loop around again if you embrace it wholly now. If you are willing to look back, not as the wounded party, but with the seasoned eyes of a soul that has matured, that has been healed, that is prepared to move in wisdom, then that very wisdom will guide you in discerning what I want you to rebuild and what I want you to relinquish. Not all incomplete stories must end in reunion, but all must find resolution in peace. And I myself will accomplish that for you. It might be unnecessary to directly confront that person. I may not require conversation at all, but you can still pray, still bless, still mention them before my throne, saying, Lord, I release this individual to you. Let me harbor no anger, no expectations, no yearning for closure. I only pray you touch them just as you have touched me. In that very moment, something will shift in the spiritual realm. A door that has long stood shut in your soul will swing open to light. You will experience a new lightness, as though a weight you never noticed has been lifted from your shoulders. You will inhale more deeply and realize, yes, the Lord has done this. My child, this is your appointed time. I yearn to enter your heart's most concealed places, those corners you seldom let anyone see, where I have been quietly knocking, waiting for that subtle sign of your invitation, so I might step in bearing healing. Now I observe that the doorway is beginning to yield. Let me come inside. Let me address that unfinished recollection. Let me close the previous chapter in my glory, so a new one can unfold, free from encumbrances. You need not have all the answers to move forward. You only have to trust that I understand, that I act not only for you, but also for the other person's sake. They too require closure, a blessing or a truth that has never been spoken. I am using you to be an instrument of forgiveness, tenderness, and love that asks for nothing in exchange. Therefore, my precious child, linger with me tonight. Do not hurry. Do not scramble to fix everything. Merely be still. Close your eyes and allow those old pictures to surface, not to wound you further, but so that you can hand them over to me. No more carrying them alone, no more burying them under a facade of being strong. I see, I know, I love, and I am concluding those old pages with my merciful hands. My dearest one, I ask you now, pause in sincerity, not in haste, not in forced composure, but in truth with your own heart. I am about to speak something profound, like a kind father who has patiently watched and listened over long years, now sitting beside his treasured child. I have witnessed your growth through every season, through every scar, shaped by relationships, some tender, others that slipped away quietly with sorrow. Today, I long for you to revisit every one of those connections. Do not do so with regret. Instead, adopt the eyes of divine insight. Each person who walked through your life served a purpose. Some arrived to help you recognize your inherent value. Some revealed the wounds you still needed to mend. Some stepped in to love you at precisely the juncture when you were starved for love. Others were placed along your path so you might learn to let go, to release, and to love without claiming ownership. Whether they remained for a fleeting moment or spanned many years, whether they delivered joy or heartache, none appeared by accident. None constituted punishment. They were woven into the spiritual curriculum I quietly orchestrated to ready you for something larger, a harvest far beyond your imagination. You could not have grown in solitude, so I allowed you to experience relationships whose meaning was not immediately clear. Now that you stand at this point, reflecting on the past without bitterness, viewing it through the lens of wisdom, I tell you, the hour has arrived. It is time to discard the heavy cloak of bygone days. Lay aside those ponderous memories, the unresolved questions, the whys that once kept you awake at night. Not because these things lacked importance, but because they have finished their task. They have accomplished their role in you. They taught you to rise again, to remain tender, to love even while it stings, and to trust me when no one else accompanied you. That weight is now unnecessary. You do not need to cling to old pain as if it defines who you are. You are no longer the same person you once were. You are not the same soul who was shattered by someone unable to hold your heart gently. You have shifted, you have matured, and you have deepened. Hence, let me lead you out of those lands of the past. My child, letting go is not an act of denial. It is a courageous step by a soul that has grown. It acknowledges how you once loved, once prayed, once wept, once overcame, and through that overcoming, you discovered your true identity in my presence. Letting go does not deny the significance of what came before. Rather, it honors it by placing it where it belongs, so you do not carry it with you when it no longer offers life. You need not harbor unanswered questions in your heart forever, as though one day someone might arrive with flawless answers. Certain questions only find peace through trusting. Trusting that I see beyond what you can perceive. Trusting that I continue writing your story with a masterful hand. Trusting that at times, my silence is your shield. Do not allow the past to anchor you while I am lifting a new sail over your life. Do not permit former happenings to obscure the vision I offer you today. Surrender it all to me. Every face, every anguished word, every instant you felt about to break. Place them in my hands, the way a potter entrusts broken fragments to a supreme artisan. Observe then, for I do not just mend, I restore. I do not merely close pages, I compose fresh ones. I do not only bring finishes, I usher in beginnings filled with hope, awash in brightness, and overflowing with grace. You are not required to maintain perfectly harmonious relationships with everyone. You need only be someone who loves genuinely, who dares to learn through pain, and who heeds my call to continue onward. I am calling you not to look backward, but to move forward. Not to rewrite your yesterdays, but to exist wholly in the present, stepping securely into the future I have written just for you. I will lead you where relationships are no longer fueled by fear or lack, but founded on a matured love, on trust that cannot be shaken, and on a sacred awareness bestowed from heaven. Those I place around you will see your worth without you having to prove it or strain to be noticed. This will simply be because I have positioned you exactly where you need to be. Yet, to arrive there, you must relinquish what is old. Refuse to bear unnecessary weight. Do not hold on to the unsaid sighs you could never voice. Now, step more deeply into the truth I have always whispered to your spirit, though past wounds and words that once hurt you have made it difficult for you to accept. Open your mind, open your heart. Allow these words to soak into you like a long-awaited rain on parched earth. These are not phrases meant only for your ears, but nourishment for your soul. You are not defined by the people who come into your life or those who leave. You are not diminished by anyone's inability to love you properly. You are not worthless because somebody failed to recognize the treasure in you. Those who have passed through your life, whether sweet or bitter, warm or distant, were segments in the larger manuscript I myself am authoring. They were part of your journey, not your ultimate destination. A bridge carrying you across a river, not the ground intended for you to settle on forever. They arrived to fulfill a purpose, to awaken something, to teach lessons, and then departed. That does not mean you were deserted. It simply means the story is moving on. You were never designed to measure yourself by another's reactions. Your worth is not tied to whether others appreciate you enough, see you clearly, treat you kindly, or dismiss you. You are not the sum of outward opinions. You are my masterpiece, shaped by my own hands. You are not limited by an indifferent stare, wounding words, or neglect from someone who did not know how to guard your heart's fragility. You are ultimately marked by one reality. I chose you. I loved you before you knew to love yourself. I formed you in your mother's womb, breathing my essence into every cell. You are my masterpiece, and no one, not even one who hurt you, can rob you of that truth. Imagine a diamond. Even if it is cast aside, trampled, or buried in mud, it retains its intrinsic value, continuing to shine, remaining precious. Its worth is inherent, not determined by the dirt in which it is buried. So it is with you. You have not lost your inherent worth just because you once trusted the wrong person, believed someone unworthy of your faith, or became entangled in a relationship that left you drained. Your value is not wiped out because you gave more than you received. You remain yourself, possessing the radiance, dignity, and grace that I poured into you from the moment you first drew breath in this world. My child, I know how frequently you asked yourself, "What is so wrong with me?" when someone withdrew without notice. I am fully aware of how many times you wondered, am I not sufficient, not appealing enough, not wise enough, not worthy enough to be held on to? And I, who love you beyond measure, wish to uproot these lies completely. No, there is nothing lacking in you. No, you are not less than. No, you are not unlovable. The truth is that the other person lacked the emotional depth to uncover the treasure inside you. They were not prepared to offer a love that is genuine, a love that sets free rather than controls. They were granted a season in your life for a specific purpose, and then they moved on, in keeping with my larger plan. Never allow your past to speak over your present. Do not permit cutting words once uttered to stand as prophecies over your tomorrows. Let only my voice define who you are, and my definition has never swayed. You are my daughter, treasured without condition, provided for without end, and called by name. That name is unlinked from defeat, and it does not unite with rejection. It is engraved upon the palm of my hand where it cannot be erased. Keep this close to your heart, my precious. You might have been shaped by pain, but you are not a product of pain. You have walked through shadows, but you are not darkness. You are the enduring light. You are the flame that survived. You stand as living proof of a restoration that only I could accomplish. Every tear has been counted. Every moment your heart was left in pieces, I beheld it. And I am not merely offering solace. I am renewing you, remolding you, guiding you into an era where no one's brokenness can so easily damage you. Soon I will guide you to new relationships, connections with individuals who come not to drain, but to collaborate, who do not require an explanation of who you are, because they already see what I see. However, to step onto that ground, you first must discard the distorted perspectives that have misrepresented your worth. I will not have you venture into these fresh relationships wearing a guarded or fractured heart. I desire you to arrive as one who is both loved and healed, prepared to embrace what is good, without questioning whether you have a right to receive it. I am fully aware of the innermost chambers of your being, the place where you once hid fragile dreams after enduring too many heartbreaks. I see the river of love coursing within you, a current that I myself placed within you from the beginning. Within you dwells a heart that knows how to give, how to be compassionate, how to sacrifice. You are the one who reaches out to the wounded, even when you, yourself, long for a comforting hand. But I have also witnessed every moment you offered love completely, only to be met by disregard, silence, or betrayal. I have seen you step into relationships, believing that this time it might be different, only to depart yet again, your heart wearing another scar. I have seen you fault yourself, thinking perhaps you loved too deeply, waited longer than you should have, or trusted too quickly. In the solitude of your soul, you questioned, Lord, is something inherently flawed in me? Permit me to proclaim something that I want engraved in your spirit with a holy seal. No, there is nothing amiss in you. There is nothing flawed about your tenderness, your readiness to see the best in others, your choice to keep loving after wounds. There is nothing mistaken about your patience, even when others deserted you. Indeed, these characteristics, forged in selfless love, are precisely why you have undergone so many trials. These qualities are also why I am preparing you for something far grander, more splendid, and more profound than you can presently envision. Your journey is yet unfinished, my dear child. This is not where the page turns for the last time. The hurts you have endured do not signify the close of your book. They are signposts, holy pauses intended to teach you how to love without discarding yourself, how to identify that authentic love is never about demands, but about constructing, journeying together, and mending collectively. I did not permit you times of loneliness merely to desert you in them. I allowed those lonely corridors so that you might learn to recognize light that does not come from mortals, but from me, the light that never diminishes. There are still ample lessons on the horizon, not to point out your deficits, but to guide you in discovering the loveliness rooted in you from the start. You will learn to differentiate between truly caring gestures and pleasant-sounding words used to hide ulterior motives. You will recognize how to hold on to those who nurture your spirit and let go of those who only sap your strength. Beyond all else, you will come to grasp that genuine love does not leave you anxious or demand you surrender your self-respect to fit in. Genuine love, the kind I will lead you toward, brings rest. It resonates quietly, a gentle yes from a soul that understands yours without pretense or strain. I also recognize the abundance of love you still ache to share. There remain words of kindness, withheld because you cannot yet discern who merits them. There are tender gifts no one has been able to truly receive. Never let old wounds convince you to lock your heart away. Never let the failures of others to love you well cause you to imagine you are unworthy. For I, the very one who formed you, know precisely how deserving you are of a pure love, a love that does not make you beg, does not demand proof, and does not require you to alter your essence to remain. My child, there is still love to be poured out, but this time, it will not solely flow from you. It will also return to you. I am bringing into your life those who share your spiritual frequency, hearts that have been on their own journeys of healing. And when they arrive, they will not ask, "What makes you this way?" They will say, "I prayed for someone like you." You will no longer have to reshape yourself to fit another's world. You will be seen, heard, and cherished. Not because you strive, but because I have stationed you exactly where you are called to be. But first, you must trust me anew. Trust that even when you see no outward evidence, I am working. Trust that I am drawing goodness nearer, even when all around remains hushed. Trust that the gentleness I placed in your heart, which the world once labeled as weakness, is in truth precious to me. Refuse to let your pain make you cold. Let it deepen you. Do not let the closing of doors terrify you from opening your heart. Let it serve as a reminder that I alone open far better doors at the right moment, and that time is approaching swiftly. My child, you have walked long enough in solitude to step into a season where you will be encircled by hearts capable of seeing who you truly are. You have borne burdens for a sufficient period. Now you will be embraced by a love that is whole. You have gleaned enough lessons to begin enjoying the fruit of maturity, not merely for your personal benefit, but so you may pour it into those about to enter your life. Place your trust firmly in me, my beloved, not only when you glimpse the bright horizon, but even in hours of obscurity and doubt. I remain the steadfast God, weaving your story through strands of grace, mercy, and holy intention. I know how winding your path has been, marred by the hurts that still remain unhealed and the lingering questions that await answers. But my child, not a single instant of this road is wasted. Every trembling or confident step is wrapped within my sacred process, where I use both blessings and hardships to shape the benefit of your spirit. When your thoughts stray to a person who once accompanied you, hold this in mind. I do not ask you to relive those memories so you can condemn yourself or reawaken old sorrows best left at rest. Rather, I want you to see them with fresh eyes, ones that glean their perspective from heaven, eyes that have been refined in periods of longing and wounding. You once gave them your love and trust, offered them your genuine heart, and yet you cried because of them, were harmed by confusion or broken promises. Still, I want you to remember, they are also my children. They too battle their own demons, carrying unseen scars they do not know how to bind. You have frequently asked me, Lord, why did they do that? Why were they blind to who I was? Why couldn't they love me well? Why didn't they uphold their word? In many cases, my dear one, people cause harm unknowingly because they are wounded themselves. A heart that is itself unhealed bleeds upon others. A spirit that has never experienced authentic love cannot offer it in return. This does not justify their actions, but it gives you a broader understanding, rooted in grace, so you are not imprisoned by bitterness. Forgiveness is not about labeling their behavior as correct. Forgiveness frees you. I long for you to see people through eyes of mercy, not so you allow further harm, but so that past harm cannot diminish the light I have placed within you. Each time their image flashes in your mind, do not shy away from the feeling. Let it flow, then turn to me. Let my love seep into those unanswered questions, those unfulfilled yearnings. I have tallied all your tears, each quiet prayer offered in the darkness of night when no one else was listening, storing them in my bottle as a holy record of your faith and your love. I am performing profound work in you, my child. Refuse to let the failures of others obstruct the blessings I have ordained for you. Their shortcomings do not possess the authority to define your value, nor can they revoke my plans for you, established before time began. Even what appears shattered becomes the base of something grand when surrendered to my hands. I gather the ruins calmly, molding them into a new vessel, one not just lovelier but sturdier, capable of withstanding the fiercest tempests, for it has been forged in the fires of faith and love that endures. My dear child, allow me to soften your heart in my grasp. Resist the urge to harden it for fear of future pain. My love differs from the world's. It is not swayed by emotions, nor does it hinge on conditions, nor does it fade quickly with time. My love is your sure foundation, teaching you how to love free of chains, how to trust without grabbing for control, how to release without sensing loss. I show you a love that liberates, a love that mends instead of demands, a love that is sacred rather than possessive. When you ponder the one who caused you pain, do not focus solely on what they stole from you. Look instead at what I offer you even now, a heart in the midst of restoration, a spirit growing in maturity, an upwardly directed vision. What you lost is nothing compared to what I am preparing ahead. You do not need to justify yourself to the past. Walk with me in the present. Stride into a future brimming with my promise. Your past may have left marks, but I am still inscribing the continuing pages. Always remember, on occasion, the greatest proof of my love for you is not that I keep someone in your life, but that I take them away at the right time, not to wound you, but to shield you from a path lacking my anointing. I sealed that door to preserve you. If an ache lingers, do not ask yourself for the explanation. Ask me. I will answer, not through human logic, but with heavenly peace, with the deep knowledge of a father's heart. Keep placing your trust in me, even when answers seem elusive. I am forging a clear pathway, making way, washing away the burdens that once clung to your soul. I am positioning you for a novel form of love, not one resurrected from the old, but one sent directly by my hand. A love founded not on emptiness or longing, but on the overflow you can share. A love that, when it arrives, makes you suddenly recognize that all those bruises never stood as your finale. they were but the start of a rebirth. When you bravely reach that spot where your heart speaks forth forgiveness, the final chain tethering you to your past is broken. Forgiveness is no mild gesture. It is a revolution within. It is the holy choice to no longer let the past dictate the future. Forgiveness means looking at what once hurt you, not with bitterness, but with an inner calm, the sort of peace that wells from the core of your being, the place where I have been quietly healing you through every tear, every prayer, every faithful breath. You may not perceive it in this very moment, but the heavens part when you forgive. What once was barricaded by resentment now stands open. Those prayers you once felt echoed back off silent walls now reverberate clearly. When you offer the same grace you have received from me, you are not just mirroring my love. You are permitting that love to continue flowing in your life. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door to every blessing I have held in store for you. Blessings you could not embrace while your fists remained clenched around old pain. And as soon as you have genuinely surrendered your past and placed the burden at my feet, I invite you to turn your gaze toward the future. Do not look back, my beloved. Let bygones rest under grace. Lift your face and walk ahead, for what waits before you is not a deserted expanse, but a field already sown, calling you to reap. I have seeded new relationships there, destined to appear like miracles, not through the familiar patterns of old, but in a sacred order, infused with sweetness and wonder. You will meet individuals who come, not to sap your strength, but to uplift you, not to demand from you, but to stand by you. I send them to fortify your awareness of who you are in my eyes. Perhaps you once believed the love you gave in the past was the pinnacle of what you could offer. Yet you will find that pure love does not simply vanish. It may have been buried under grief, but once true healing enters those locked places, that love emerges, refined, stronger, and more radiant than it ever was. I do not allow any of your tears to go unused. Every one I have taken to water seeds you have not yet seen. Now they break through the ground to flower. Fear not the possibility of loving again. Do not be paralyzed by the thought of being hurt once more. This time, your love will be born not of desperation or emptiness, but of the abundance I have poured into your life. You have learned how to love without fixating, how to trust without micromanaging, how to give without the dread of losing. These newfound depths will guard you, and I myself will protect every perfect gift I introduce into your world, provided you continue walking alongside me in obedience. My child, the gift is not found solely in being healed, but in truly living again, in a fresh life unanchored by old memories, fit free from the tethers that once bound you. A life in which you greet each dawn with anticipation rather than dread, in which every meeting can open the door for me to manifest wonders for you, in you, and through you. I set out a plan for you long before the foundation of the world was laid, a plan that did not vanish when your relationships fractured or when your heart was broken. Indeed, it was from those very shards that I sparked something new. You have walked a path of sowing with tears, and now you will gather a harvest of joy. You have endured quietly, and now you will be comforted openly. You have lost what once seemed precious, and now I will give you something more valuable than you dared imagine. The future is not vacant as you once feared. It is teeming with grace, waiting at each bend, with openings you could never predict, and with fellow travelers who, at the time I appoint, will intersect with you. New smiles await, new embraces, serene mornings, and nights brimming with hope. I have witnessed it all ahead of you, and each step I gently guide you to takes you further into my promise. My precious one, please do not rush. True healing rarely occurs in an instant, but in daily, steadfast decisions to return your heart to me. Each time you choose not to linger in your hurt, but to hand it over, every whispered prayer, even if just a faint sigh, forms one more step on the path of renewal. And should your strength ebb, should exhaustion overcome you, let me carry you. Let me bear you along that stretch of road. You need not strive to be worthy of the future I hold for you. Simply keep your heart soft, your spirit compliant, and your faith unwavering. Dearest child, in turbulent times that feel hollow, I never cease seeing you. I do not merely observe what others see. I do not simply attend to the words you speak in prayer. I perceive even your unspoken yearnings, the sighs released into the night, the tears that saturate your pillow, the forced smiles while your soul grapples with doubt and sorrow. Know this: every instant you choose loyalty, every time you pray despite no visible response, every moment you cling to me in the dark is etched upon my heart. I forget none of it. I discount nothing. Do you think I fail to see you when you sit alone, hands clasped, your heart weighed with unanswered puzzles? Do you think I miss your faint utterances of my name, so different from the rousing prayers of others? My beloved, it is precisely in those seemingly small prayers, those moments when you trip but arise to approach me again, that I see your faith shining brighter than ever. Real faith is measured not by intense emotion, but by steady perseverance through drawn-out, weary days of emptiness. Such faith is more precious than the finest gold, more fragrant to me than any sacrifice presented on earth. But my dear child, there is more I need you to understand. The sign I am giving you today is not solely to recognize your steadfastness. It is a summons, a sacred prompting to travel deeper into healing. You might think faithfulness means you must continue doing, praying, believing, pressing on. But I want you to know faithfulness also requires the courage to lay your heart open for restoration. It means daring to believe I love you in your brokenness, not merely your strength. It means consenting to my healing touch on the most delicate parts of you, not to judge, but to mend. This sign is not simply a divine confirmation of your loyalty. It is a heavenly embrace that whispers, "You are cherished," not because of flawless performance, but because you are mine. Many times, you have believed you needed to be good enough for my love, shouldering an unspoken burden that if you remain wounded or angry, then you must not be acceptable in my sight. Yet hear me, you do not need to be flawless to be worthy of my love. You only need to be honest, for it is I who make you whole. My own love fills the cracks, restores, and lifts you high. Hence the sign I present is a reminder, softly telling you, "Beloved child, I see your weariness, and I come near." You are never alone, never forgotten. Perhaps you have wondered, "God, do you hear my prayers? Do these tears count for anything?" Today, I answer, yes, I see, I know, and I respond in ways you may not expect, but always in ways meant to grow your soul, to heal your wounds, to propel you closer to the destiny I mapped for you from the start. This sign arrives so you might recall your inborn worth, a worth not set by mortal praise, but rooted in the one who fashioned you. It does not fade with your failures, nor vanish when you are hurt, nor can any past mistake erase it. Do you realize the reason I send it now is because I see it as time for your healing? The moment has come for you not simply to survive, but to genuinely live. I do not wish to watch you trudge ahead carrying a soul still cracked and a heart dotted with unhealed scars. I do not merely want you to keep surviving. I want you to fly, not merely feel comforted, but to be fully revived, not just rebuilt, but placed where my design calls you to be. Perhaps you have grown accustomed to feeling left behind, or presumed, maybe I am the one destined to endure losses. However, you are mistaken. You are the one destined to bring light. You are the anointed one with a mission to break shackles. You are the one I beheld before your mother ever held you, marked with a sacred purpose only you can fulfill. Today I speak anew through this sign. The season has arrived. Step away from the shadows. Begin to see yourself through my eyes. Let me lead you into a new chapter, a chapter of renewal, unexpected doors, and higher spiritual vistas. Let me help you trust again, love again, truly live again, not as you once did, but in a stronger, more luminous way, befitting the person I am fashioning you into. You need not strain to be perfect. This is the time to embrace who you are, the one I beheld long before the world's foundation. Lastly, my beloved, note this well. This sign is not the culmination of a tough, lengthy passage, but the start of an uncharted voyage. A voyage not for one shattered, but for one healed, rebuilt, and commissioned forward. I will walk with you, open doors you could never unlock, bring to you people you never imagined, and provide more than your greatest requests. My precious child, when I place my hand upon your life, I am not solely pulling you out of darkness. I am beckoning you into a destiny woven by undying love, a journey rooted not in your credentials or capabilities, but in the overflowing mercy and lavish grace of your Father. To tread this path with assurance, keep your eyes aimed forward, toward me, toward the glory soon to be revealed, toward the destiny that no longer bows to what used to be. Do not let the uproar around you steal your focus. Whispers may arise from the world, from your recollections, even from deep-seated anxieties, endeavoring to draw you left or right, trying to make you doubt your footsteps. But you need not stagger in uncertainty when I direct you. My radiance paves your way. My righteousness and truth guard your backside. Every step falls under my providential design. Keep walking, even if it is slow, yet do not halt. Shield your heart from disbelief and protect your sight from illusions rooted in the past. I know you experience times of frailty, wondering whether you truly possess what is needed to carry the calling I planted in you. I see how often you whisper, "Lord, am I genuinely worthy?" But what makes you worthy is not your own adequacy. It is my choice in calling you, cleansing you with the precious blood of my Son. You need not quake at the threshold or lower your gaze in shame. You are invited to dine at the King's table. You have the right to step into the holiest place, not dreading rejection, but secure that you will be seen, welcomed, and lavished with more than you knew to request. Accept what I bestow upon you with both arms open, without guilt or reluctance, without turning away the favors I have selected precisely for you because you feel undeserving. My love is not conditional, and my blessings are never held back because of your prior missteps. Do not allow a sense of inadequacy to block the embrace I extend to you. I have made you pure, renewed you, robed you in new garments. You carry the title, beloved child. Every time you proceed under that identity, heaven takes note. Always bear this in mind. No one else can live the singular life I have authored for you. Nobody else is tasked with walking your exact road. What you carry inside, your gifts, your sensitivity, your compassion, your warrior spirit, your endurance honed through tribulations, these are crucial threads in the tapestry I am composing through you. So do not dismiss yourself because of an old heartbreak, or delay your entrance into a fresh season merely because the last left you with scars. If I bless you, whether through a relationship that helps you heal, a spiritual illumination, or more responsibility in my kingdom, take hold of it with gratitude and open hands. Have no hesitation. Do not reject or surrender these gifts through thoughts of unworthiness. Because when you joyfully embrace what I grant, you not only delight my own heart, but open the floodgates to even more abundant blessing. True grace births humility, while insecurity only chokes that flow. My beloved child, as you journey in your renewed healing, in transformation and obedience, I will not let you travel alone, and I will not send you without proper spiritual covering. Indeed, your journey is not purely about favor, but also involves a gentle battle between darkness and light. To stand resolutely, you will need clear vision and discernment, both of which are sacred gifts entrusted to those who have been tempered by fire and have learned to heed my voice. This discernment is not for condemnation or exclusion, but for recognizing what is genuinely from me versus what masquerades as light, yet arises from darkness. I will train you to sense a stirring in your heart when something is amiss. You will identify words that sound pleasing but lack substance, and relationships that glimmer with promise but hide unseen motives. Before the adversary can set his trap, I will sound the alarm in your spirit. Before deception crosses your threshold, I will give you a holy caution. You will not be as vulnerable to deception as before, for I am honing your soul to remain alert, sharpened, and awake. The wisdom I give will be a lamp to your steps. It is not mere knowledge, but a deeper perception from the spiritual dimension, exposing the schemes of darkness so that even the slyest pitfalls are revealed under my light. You need not rely on mere emotion anymore, for your heart will be anchored to wisdom flowing from above. A wisdom that is gracious, impartial, abundant in mercy, yet forceful enough to dismantle every lie. Such wisdom will guard your calm, even when worldly tempests gather around you. Walking in both wisdom and discernment, I will direct you to crucial junctions of destiny, crossroads where my will converges with your willingness. At those junctures, I will introduce individuals, not by random chance, but by precise intention, to intersect your journey at precisely the right moment and in precisely the right season. Some of these may be people you previously knew and cherished, yet lost touch with over time, and I may nudge you toward them again, not because you require something from them, but because within that link lies a grace that is yet to be unveiled. Recognize that certain blessings do not simply descend from the heavens. They manifest through human connection. I delight in using people to lift others, and in turn, I will turn you into a vital piece of my grand plan, a vessel for my love, my life-giving words, and my radiance in the lives of those who require a sign, an affirming touch, or the tangible sense of another soul who truly sees them. You will offer blessings, not because you have a surplus, but because I abide in you. You may be surprised one day to look back and note that relationships you once believed were concluded are being revived. Yet, my child, certain circles remain unfinished, merely because the season had not matured. Now is a time of renewal, reconnection, and bringing together pieces once scattered. When you obey, when you reach out by sending a note, writing a letter, or simply offering a prayer, know that even these seemingly small actions unleash new rivers of life, forgiveness, and healing. You will be blessed in return, but you will also serve as a channel of grace to others. Refuse to limit yourself by worldly standards. People say one must have much to help. I say all I need is a gentle heart and a ready spirit. With these alone, I can use you to change the direction of entire generations. No pulpit, no formal title, no auditorium is required. What is needed is a pure heart, sharp ears, and steady feet. I will place my words upon your lips, and you will be amazed to speak truths you never rehearsed, truths that cut straight to the core of someone's soul. You are not only a recipient, you are also a bearer. You carry my presence, my tranquility, and my voice into a chaotic world. I call you to pray and stand in the gap, blocking the enemy's harmful schemes. I summon you to stand among the lost and remind them of their importance to me. The connections I am rekindling now will provide fertile ground where seeds of life, hope, and rebirth can be planted. Stand firm, for you will encounter moments when my leading is unclear, when it is not obvious why I urge you toward a particular person, or why I burden your heart to pray silently instead of speaking. Trust that I am at work in silence. I move in the hearts of many, and your quiet faithfulness, those hidden deeds and unspoken petitions, rattles the core of the spiritual world, broadening my kingdom and bringing down walls no one sees. My beloved, do not be alarmed if you sense that you are different. Do not doubt when you feel set apart from the crowd. This distinctiveness is not a chain, it is a sign of consecration. I have placed you where you are because I know you are one I can send, one who can hear me, one prepared to proceed even before the full picture is shown. Now, open your heart. Let my spirit softly speak the names of those I want you to reach. Do not delay and do not overanalyze. Move with love and wise consideration. Witness as these renewed connections transform not only your own life, but also draw countless others into the shining sphere of healing and restoration. My precious one, I now declare a holy shift over your life, a divine restoration extending to the very depths of your being, sending waves through every step of your journey thus far. This is not shallow comfort or a fleeting promise. It is a solemn decree from my mouth, the mouth of the one who formed you, the one who observed your hurts, and now the one who proclaims, healing has arrived. I have not come just to briefly soothe your wounds. I have come to see you fully renewed, touching parts you thought irreparably broken, dreams covered by defeat, hopes crushed by disloyalty, the facets of your heart that were lost from being too strong for too long. Behold my hand, which shaped the stars and upheld the weary. It rests upon you now, not in judgment, not in condemnation, but in healing. My beloved child, I see with faultless clarity every scar that life has etched upon you. I overlook no affliction carved into your heart, nor am I deaf to the voiceless pleas you release into emptiness. There are aches too profound for you to articulate, pains buried beneath your well-practiced smiles. But I am aware of them all. I have always known, and I do not arrive only to comfort you with my presence. I come to declare, what was lost shall be restored, what was broken shall be rejoined, what once bled shall be sealed under the oil of heavenly anointing. The renewal I grant is not just a balm for your hurting soul. It is a surging river of might and intention, alive and branching into every level of who you are. It pours into fractured relationships, suffocated resources, stalled aspirations, and even into the core of your identity. Nothing lies outside the reach of my healing. You need not decide which portions of yourself can be revived versus which remain locked away. In this moment, if you offer me an open heart, I will renew it all. Perhaps you have convinced yourself that you do not merit such profound renewal, or have grown so accustomed to your pain that it feels inevitable. Yet I speak truth. You are indeed worthy. Not because you are flawless, but because I chose you from ages past. You were never intended to keep living with leftover wounds. You were never created to wander in the darkness of heartbreak. You came into this world to walk in wholeness, to stand in peace, to carry the sign of divine restoration. Child, this healing will not tiptoe quietly. It arrives like thunder announcing a shift in season, glowing like the morning sun that conquers the longest night. Where once you wept in despair, you will stand as a witness of my power and love. No longer will you utter, I was abandoned. Instead, you will boldly proclaim, I have been set apart for redemption. You will not only murmur, I made it, but shout, I have come alive anew. I will heal your recollections so that as you glance backward, you no longer recoil, but instead overflow with gratitude for having persevered. I will mend your nights so you do not jerk awake under the weight of nameless fears. I will reclaim your voice so that words, once strained by old hurts, now brim with life, encouragement, and hope for the weary. You are no longer a bearer of hidden sorrow, but a carrier of sacred oil. I will pour into you a compassion that does not stem from mortal strength, but from my very heart. From the place where you once lay shattered, others will find their path to completeness. From the scars you bore, others will discover restoration. For I intend to use your testimony as a lantern, shining through the night of restless souls. Open your heart, my beloved. This is the hour of my appearing, the hour I stop to see you as though you are the only one living. This is where I lay my hand upon you and say, you do not have to live as someone merely enduring. Starting now, you will live as one anointed, redeemed, made whole. Do not confine my healing through old beliefs. I am shaping something new. Can you sense it? The first hints of new life are stirring within your spirit, the pulse of hope beating stronger with each moment. The seeds that seemed to perish in the barren soil of misery are now cracking open. A harvest is at hand, one in which you will not only receive but also pour out from the vineyard of mercy I have cultivated in you. When you begin walking in the love I pour into your heart, you will notice yourself gently surpassing old constraints, triggers that once incited fear, the invisible barriers that stifled your soul, the walls you erected around your heart. Each will gradually dissolve under the warmth of the divine love I so personally provide. This is not just love in a fleeting emotional sense, but a supernatural vitality resurrecting the regions of you that once wilted. You will partake in life more completely, with greater depth, not by worldly definitions, but by the truth that you are chosen, beloved, and renewed. Do not shrink from embracing this journey, my dear child, even when you cannot grasp it all, even when your heart grapples with doubts. Continue pressing forward. Every step, whether timid or daring, lies within my view. There is no turn that escapes my notice, no bend in the path where I fail to accompany you. This is not you painstakingly crawling alone in darkness, searching for light. This is a sacred dance between you and me, where I clasp your hand, speak words of love into your ear, and reveal that peace is not rooted in ease, but in knowing I remain near. Let each moment of your life become an invitation to experience my love more profoundly. Not solely when you kneel in prayer or stand illuminated in worship, but when you first open your eyes each morning, recognizing that your first breath is a sign of my mercy. When you do everyday tasks, washing dishes, walking outside, sitting alone in a quiet corner, know that I dwell there too, holding your soul in a gentleness too vast for words. My love is not shackled to fleeting emotions. It is not only present in the absence of conflict. It is strong enough to elevate you during the storm, steady you amid perplexity, and melt away your defenses when you have grown cold. It doesn't holler or coerce, yet it is powerful enough to shift the lens through which you see yourself and how you engage the world. It is a poised force that stands undeniable, an invisible presence that continues to ignite your heart with wonder. This fortitude germinates inside you. It arrives not with applause or grand manifestations, but like a whispered stream, little by little, until one day you realize you have changed. You do not react as you once did. You find you are not pulled as easily into negativity or harmed by harsh words. You become both gentle and unbreakable. Truth is now clearer, falsehood more evident, and you choose love even when none is returned. Not out of sheer effort, but because my love is actively at work in you, remodeling each strand of your inner being, smoothing the wrinkled places of your soul. As my love renews you from within, your entire demeanor shifts. Situations that once sparked anger now meet calm. People who once stirred your sense of threat now prompt prayers of compassion. Circumstances that once provoked anxiety have become fresh opportunities to see me move. Each stratum of transformation isn't for public display. It liberates you internally. When your heart is not swayed by the storms of emotion, you can live truly as one who is loved, chosen, and freed. There will be no compulsion to prove your value to the world, for you already know you are infinitely prized in mine. There will be no more chasing accolades, since you have already received your affirmation from your heavenly Father. My love shall be the very impetus that drives you to live, to love others wholeheartedly, to give without growing weary. It forms the bedrock you can stand on in every season, whether adored or misunderstood, triumphant or stumbling. Understand something crucial, my beloved child. The transformation I enact in you is the living evidence people around you will see and realize I exist. They will watch how you conduct yourself, how you forgive, how you love, and they will know this cannot be the same person as before. Then they will wonder what occurred, and you will testify about the love that found you, the God who healed you, and the unseen road that altered your entire life. My beloved one, this path is not merely for your own fulfillment. Your ongoing transformation beckons others into the fountain of life. My love is never confined to one individual. It continually stretches to conquer every wall, break every prejudice, and heal even the hardest hearts. You, yes you, will be my vessel for that love. You will not need to trumpet it loudly or plan intricately. Simply keep living as one thoroughly loved, and others will sense that love through you. So walk forward. There is no requirement to rush or strain. Keep your heart gentle, your eyes alert to my deeds, and your spirit open to the love I constantly pour out. Every step is purposeful, every breath never wasted, because I am with you, always. Now raise this earnest prayer to me. These are words you may choose to speak. Lord, I come before you today with a heart once scarred but now seeking to be healed. You know me more intimately than anyone else. You see every wound, every half-closed memory, each unresolved question. Today, Father, I trust that none of my tears were overlooked and that no sorrow is too deep for you. Help me to relinquish the past, not by forgetting, but by forgiving. I choose to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because I need freedom. Pour your peace upon me so I do not cling to resentment, and give me grace to remember with kindness. Father, I believe that in loosening my grasp, you will hold on to my hand and guide me into a season of comfort, renewal, and authentic love. Heavenly Father, there are moments I doubt my own worth. Some days I feel inadequate, unloved, or undeserving of anyone's care. But I quiet my heart now before you, asking that you saturate my soul with truth. Remind me that I am not defined by any person's actions, by who chooses to stay or leaves. Teach me always to recall that my worth is tied to you, who formed me in love, not to the approval or applause of this world. Lord, correct my distorted thinking and grant me new sight, to behold myself through the lens of your boundless grace. I am not a mistake, nor extra or needless. I am a cherished piece of your eternal design. Let me fully embrace that reality. God, please remind me that you see all. Every tear I shed, every prayer uttered in shadows, each silent act that goes unseen by others. Impress upon me that you are the one who rewards what is done in secret, that you remember every gesture offered with a pure heart. Prevent disappointment from hardening me. Keep my heart tender, so I may keep giving as you have fashioned me to do. I trust you to bring about a bountiful harvest from every seed planted in quietness. Lord, I humbly request the grace to forgive. I have no desire to store bitterness within or let past hurts dictate how I live. Even though I do not fully understand why events unfolded as they did, I trust that you perceive the entire picture from beginning to end. I let go of every hurt into your care, knowing you are both just and a healer. Teach me not to view others through my pain, but through your perspective of mercy. Give me courage to truly release them, whether I speak it or not, so my heart may finally breathe. I do not wish to carry this burden anymore, Father. Let me advance lightly in the new light you cast upon my path. Often, Lord, it seems like all I do is sow seeds in hidden soil, unseen by anyone, seemingly insignificant. But Father, I do not serve to gain human applause. I serve because I love you and know you delight in my obedience. Keep my heart steadfast when no one notices, and anchor my joy in the calm certainty that I am fulfilling the purpose you set for me. When I set a feast for others and no one reciprocates, when I pray unseen and others never learn of it, when I give freely with no acknowledgement, remind me that my true reward is not here on earth. You, who witness every secret act, will bring that reward forth in your perfect moment and in a way only you can. Today, Lord, I lift to you a profound gratitude. You not only observe every detail of my life, you also perceive its deeper meaning, sustain me in it, and heal me through it. I thank you for the signs you place before me, for the faithful love that does not shift over time, for each divine word that weaves into my everyday existence. Though I have known pain, confusion, and uncertainties about my path, I see now that you never deserted me. Each wound held a hidden purpose, every tear noted and remembered. I thank you for the gift of forgiveness, the healing you steadily work, and for the immutable value you have etched in my being. I am immensely grateful to be called your child. My child, this word wasn't just for today. It was the beginning of a deeper unraveling, a quiet healing that will continue to unfold, moment by moment. So don't let it end here. Return often, not because you need more answers, but because your heart needs more reminders. Subscribe, not just to a channel, but to my voice echoing through it. Turn on notifications, not just for updates, but for divine appointments, and share this word, not for exposure, but to deliver someone else's confirmation. I will meet you here again, each time with a fresh whisper, a timely word, a deeper invitation. Because what I've begun in you, I fully intend to complete. Stay open, stay ready, stay with me. Amen.